Friday. What's up, booze?
Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Well.
Time, yeah. Long week.
Yeah. And I have an eventful weekend of spring cleaning, going through the closets and throwing it out.
I'm getting that too.
Figuring it out. So the Grammys was last week.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris is our resident celebrity. You've been to the Grammys, right?
Yes.
A few times?
Yep, a few times.
So I recorded it because I gotta fast forward through shit because sorry, not sorry. There are some people that I'm just like, no, I don't want to listen to your speeches. I don't want to listen to you sing. Next. What are your overall thoughts of it? I thought it was a decent show.
I thought it was a good show. I think Trevor Noah is an excellent host in general.
Agreed.
He hosts everything. He gives flavor. He doesn't, make other people scared, and
right.
And he's quick, and he's
people scared.
And he's really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's like his demeanor. He's very relaxed. He's smart. He's sharp. People like him. I thought the rap. They did an homage to the 50th anniversary of rap, which was good. It started out great. It was bumping and this, and then they got the last couple things, and they had with Gorilla, right? Whatever her name was.
That was terrible.
Someone else. I was like,
really?
Yeah, the last couple things petered out a little bit because I didn't know who they were, and
So here's my take on
generation.
The 50th anniversary of hip hop. I get what they were trying to do, like the next generation. Here they brought out Glorilla and whoever the hell else that they brought out. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. It's the 50th anniversary of hip hop. As much as LL Cool J deserved to be on that stage, I get it. It's CBS, and he's been on several shows on CBS, so there's some loyalty there that CBS is going to give him that shine to come out and start it off with being the announcer and then the rapper. But it could have been as good as it was, and as hype as I was watching it. It just could have been so much better. Because I'm like, and I know because LL said it, he's like, before you guys start getting all upset and talking about he's like, just, keep in mind that, we have like a specific amount of time and we have to acknowledge, but, not everyone can be on stage. But I'm like, where the fuck was Dougie Fresh? I mean,
you gotta pick and choose though.
And then bring out LL to start, or Run DMC. Run DMC, they could have given a little bit more time. They literally got a whole like 25 seconds, if that. Even MC Light. MC Light was the voice of the Grammys. Why, bitch, come downstairs. Say your little Georgie Porgy, drop the mic, hand it over to Queen Latifah, go back upstairs and continue your Grammy work. Ice Cube.
You can't have everybody in there though.
And
also the availability of them as well too. So
yeah, well, they could have extended it. They would have just left Glorilla and whoever the hell that came on at the end off of it. I'm just saying.
That's the new. I didn't even recognize Missy Elliott.
Yeah, she's glammed up now. She lost.
I didn't even recognize her. But there was a long segment. I was like, oh, how long is it? I was like, oh, it was good because it was a long segment. But I was like, there's no way they could have gone longer.
No.
Or, and they had to put some newer. Drake wasn't in there. Or
odd.
Well, he's one of the top rappers of all time. Eminem wasn't in there.
Yeah, that's true.
There's huge people. They're bigger than Dougie Fresh, even though I love him. Tribe Called Quest wasn't in there.
Yeah.
And they put De La Soul, one of the De La Soul guys, and I'm like, I wasn't mad at it. I liked the first part was really, and Public Enemy was great. It was good. You can't satisfy everyone all the time, and I'm glad they at least got that part in.
Yeah, and they could have left Big Boy off of it. I get where they was going with the whole ATL thing, but unless Andre 3000 was going to be on stage with him, Big Boy should have just been, it's either both of y'all or none of y'all. because nobody wants to see Big Boy. Sorry, I'm speaking for myself. He good, but we want Andre 3000 to come out there.
Well, you could have had Nelly or something, or because remember, Outkast won Album of the Year. Remember, you have to understand that too. So they had to be in there.
Right. I mean, overall, it was good. I was hype. I was up, and I was like, great, great, great. But of course, that was up for debate, which I knew it would be because there's so many, like, you know, geniuses within hip hop that deserve to be on that stage. But it is what it is. I'm glad they got their shine because when hip hop first came out and the Grammys basically was like, y'all ain't even getting on TV. So here we are. The Motown tribute was good. Smokey Robinson with his little turquoise suit on with Cat Daddy is just a mess.
I didn't even see that like the day after because I didn't watch the show at all. So what? He had a what?
And the soul, I was like, Smoke, you gotta stop doing plastic surgery.
Oh no!
I mean, his face was so tight.
But can I be a
like
conspiracy
Madonna
theorist right now?
What?
Be a conspiracy theorist right now.
Oh God!
I'll put it out there.
Oh God! Oh God!
I don't think Stevie Wonder is blind, y'all.
Okay. And why is that, ma'am?
Because he was just he just was maneuvering himself around that stage like nobody's business. Like where his piano was or his organ or where keyboard or whatever it was. And he got up and he took the mic off the thing and he was standing up and he kind of was like walking. And I'm just like.
So you think it's all a ruse since he was 13?
Yeah. Well, I think Stevie Wonder can see. Or maybe he got some sort of like something, but he can see something. I don't think he's 100% blind. But I'm putting it out there. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Just saying.
I didn't see it, but maybe there was something in his ear, like telling him like where to step, because I know it was probably heavily rehearsed. I don't know, but I just can't.
Sorry.
No, I can't imagine that he's not blind, but okay.
And all I'm saying is that the last act was Jay-Z and DJ Khaled, and it was 9 minutes long. It was the longest rap thing. I had to fast forward. I'm like, he's still going? I fast forward 30 seconds. I'm like, he's still
9 minutes.
It was I think 8.5 minutes, and they had
long.
They had a feast table and they had all this food. And I'm like, who's getting all that food? Are they gonna give it to the homeless? Because it was like
they were on the street.
They were on the street.
They were outside of the
they were on the roof. I thought they were on the roof.
No, they were outside on the right outside on the street where still call it the Staples Center. Not sorry. But they were outside, and John Legend and DJ Khaled and Rick Ross and Jay-Z and whoever the fuck else was on that. They had it was like a Last Supper look type of table, but the table was full of food, and they had like bottles of like champagne and shit. And they were just out there. I agree with you, Chris. I was kind of looking like they out in the streets, and Skid Row is like not far. Like
wait, Prince just skidded for the door.
Prince is like,
he's like, who is that?
Oh, delivery.
Oh, that's funny.
Anywho, so I thought Bad Bunny was good, who kicked off the show. I like that.
Who's Bad Bunny? I heard that name a lot this week.
He's the number one artist in the world.
It's a guy?
Yes. He's been the number one artist in the world for the past 2-3 years. He has most streams of anybody of all time.
It's Puerto Rican.
What's a favorite? What's a popular one that I might have heard, just don't know his name? You would know it.
Well, I know it, but I can't. I'm not going to sing it because I don't know how to speak Spanish, and I'll just butcher it.
Oh, okay. He's Spanish.
He's Spanish. He's Spanish, and well, he's not Spanish. He's Puerto Rican, and he sings. I mean, he sings in Spanish. He's in Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So he really lit it up. It kind of reminded me of when Ricky Martin first came out, and he literally like shut down the Grammys. Bad Bunny kind of gave me that vibe. I like him now. I'm a fan. I liked one of his songs before when he first came out, but I kind of dismissed him. But that performance he gave was really good. But let's talk about, your girl, Queen Bee. So she won. She made history and won her 32nd. She won her 32nd Grammy. But you didn't watch it? But Chris, did you see Diplo when she won in the category of Best Electronica Album, and when they were given the nominees? If you could go back and watch it, Diplo was a nominee. And when they announced Beyonce as the winner, you know how sometimes it cuts to the nominees and they're clapping and stuff? Diplo, I read that motherfucker's lips, and as clear as day, he's like clapping, and he's got like Petty. He's got his like little glasses on. He looks at the person beside him, and he's like, "They bought that." Drama.
Just so you know, Sheeta, Bad Bunny has the most top 10 songs, 55, total chart entries, 141, and number 1 debuts, 5.
Don't have no idea who he is.
He's
D-Less is his biggest hit. D-Less.
What is his biggest hit?
D-Less, D-I-L-E-S. That's why I said you wouldn't.
No, I have not heard of him. But I'm not into music, so I tell y'all that all the time. Movies and TV.
5 albums.
Yeah, I have no
but
idea.
Overall, it was good. Beyonce won. I guess the controversy is, she's been nominated for, she's the most winningest Grammy, winningest of Grammys of all time, but yet she's been nominated 4 times for Album of the Year and still hasn't won.
5 times, I think.
Is it 5?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that kind of like where she's like been shut out, and it's like, seriously. And they gave it to Harry Styles. I mean, no shade to Harry Styles. He's just not my type. Like, I'm not into his kind of music. The only thing I didn't like about his speech when he won, like he held up his Grammy and he's like, "This doesn't happen to people like me often." And I'm like, what? Read the room, motherfucker. You're a white man. Like, you're a white heterosexual man. You motherfuckers stay winning. Like,
and the reasons why people didn't vote for Beyonce actually underlines the point of people's anger and his response. I get what he was saying. I saw just the clip or whatever, or wherever he's from, and everybody feels like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. But your point is extremely valid, because it does happen all the time. As the Grammy history is nothing but white males. But yeah, the reasons why they did not vote for her was personal and petty. And again, it was an attack on the Black women who are extremely accomplished. That woman is extremely accomplished. I'm not going to go into my whole big, I love Bey. Yeah. But I like her work. I like what she does, whatever. So I'm not going to go into it. But the reasonings why 3 of those those 3 Grammy judges didn't vote for her was petty as fuck to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, that's
and I love, but one thing I did love about it was it song of the year or songwriter of the year, and there was like all these huge people beyond, and Bonnie Raitt run. I said, wouldn't it be funny if Bonnie Raitt won?
What was the song that she won? Because I actually like her song. I like her singing.
I don't know I forgot the name of the song, but
okay.
But she was like more surprised. I said, wouldn't it be fun? I said, all these stars. It'd be funny if Bonnie Raitt won, and she won. She was like,
but you know why? Because those fucking judges are assholes. I'm not saying that she didn't deserve it, but after listening and hearing about what they said about Beyonce, they have personal grudges, and that's why you need more representation, on these judges. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
The 3 quotes are from people who have been in their 70s. Who had been there for a long time.
It's still disgusting. Recognize the art and appreciate it.
As opposed to more of a spectacle, as opposed to an artist, and she gets, her hype. And it was just.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, it was.
I have to be honest, y'all. I thought Bonnie Raitt died like 15 years ago. So when I saw that Bonnie Raitt won, I was like, and they cut to her, I was like, clutch my pearls. I was like, I thought you died.
I love Bonnie Raitt.
It's so funny.
I love Bonnie Raitt back in the day when she came out. I was like, oh snap.
It's so funny because I just created a Dolly Parton playlist on my phone, and Bonnie Raitt and a couple others are in there. So I had no idea that she'd even won, but she is good. I do like her.
You're so surprised.
Have you guys seen Reba McEntire has a new show coming out? I don't know the name of the show. I just saw the commercial last night. And speaking of plastic surgery, these people have to stop. They have to stop.
The one thing all you need to say is at the Grammys, Madonna.
I know.
Did you see her picture?
You sent me the picture.
Oh my God, poor thing. Please tell Madonna to stop.
She won't.
She looks like a gremlin. She looked like an alien. She looked crazy.
But here's the thing. She is not owning it. Did you notice how everybody that was presenting, the camera was like right here, right up on them. When she came up on there to announce or present whoever the hell she was presenting, the camera was like a little far away from her. Like she could see her whole body, but it was a little away from her, like, like this. She still looked a hot mess. But the next day, because obviously everybody was talking about how bad she looked, instead of her just saying, maybe I went overboard or just shutting up and not saying anything in general, she blamed everybody. She blamed the cameramen at the Grammys for making her look bad. And I'm like, boo-boo, no. Blame your plastic surgeons. Blame the physicians who continuously cut you. They need to lose their licenses. She looks like a monster. God forgive me. She looks like a monster.
I don't expect her to own it because she's chasing something that she feels that she can achieve under the knife, which is sad. I feel bad for her, and I feel even worse talking about how bad she looks but it's like one of those things that you can't, it's like watching a car crash. It's like, damn, you can't take your eyes away from it and you can't stop talking. It's not good.
Oof. And here's the thing. You're a superstar. You're an icon. Why can't you pick up your phone and be like, hey, Cher, hey, Dolly, let me get the name of your plastic surgeon, because don't get it twisted. Cher has had a lot of work done, and Cher,
she has stopped. There's a difference.
Looks good, and she probably gets a little filler here and there. Same with Dolly. Dolly's had a lot of work done, but they look good, and they are 10 plus years older than Madonna. Oof, Madonna looks like that lion lady. Remember that lion lady in New York City that got way too much into her
cat lady?
The cat lady, yes. Her and Smokey Robinson must go to the same plastic surgeon, but I digress.
But that's something that we would have to talk about at one point. Getting older, and it's scary, especially for a woman, losing your youth and what you perceive as gorgeous or beautiful. That's a hard one to go, and people don't recognize those kind of that kind of trauma that we all have to go through. Oh my God. Oof. So I feel for her. I feel bad for her.
Oof. Ooh, don't get a close up. I feel bad for her, but she, it is what it is. But I agree with you, Gina. Like we need to talk about that one day, because I don't have them problems.
I do. I have, like, I fight with those things, but I'm not getting surgery. Hi, Darius.
Hi.
Okay.
He said hi. He got a little low voice. Hi.
He had to be seen. Yeah. But no, I feel that sometimes, that pull. And sometimes I have to, like, what? It's 55, girl. You are not going to be 25. And like Madonna, she has those beautiful girls. And that's another thing. You have a daughter, your youth is looking you in the face. And you're like, I'm not going to ever be there. It's a discussion. It definitely is a discussion, but that's not for today.
Yeah, no. All right. Well, I think we covered most of to all of the Grammys.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good show. I think that it's going in a better direction. They've got that new president, Harvey Mason Jr., that is kind of
Do something about those judges.
Yeah, if
Do
that's
something
how
about
that
that.
is, he needs to do something about them judges and handle that. But we'll see. Oh Lord Jesus.
Sir, see, can you? But no. Can you imagine going on the internet and having somebody making fun of you like that?
Mm-mm.
That's hard. That's hard. It's hard.
This is what Madonna said the next day. The world is threatened by my power and my stamina, my intelligence and my will to survive. Well, first of all, that's not an incorrect grammar. The world is threatened by my power and my stamina, period. My intelligence and my will to drive, period. But they will never break me. This is all the test.
That's what she has to tell herself. That's what she has to tell herself.
Yeah, whatever, Madonna.
You know, whatever makes her feel better about it. But it's unfortunate that we have to watch it. It's just.
And she's going on tour.
Better.
She's going on tour and doing her hits. She's going on tour, trying to get that bag.
She ain't getting my money. She's just like Beyonce. They ain't getting my money. I'm good. I'll just first of all, especially with Madonna, and then I'll end it there. We can go to Married at First Sight. With Madonna, she was such. I mean, we grew up with her. I loved her when she first. I thought, first when Borderline came out, I don't know about y'all, but I thought that was a black woman. I didn't until I saw the video. I kept hearing the song on the radio, and I'm like, "Who's this girl?" Whatever. I would just assume she was black. And when the video came out, and I was like, "Oh snap!" But that's besides the point. She still was good, and I loved her, and she was a great dancer and all over the place. There ain't no way Madonna's going to be able to keep up with old Madonna. I ain't paying all that kind of money to just see her stand there, and she can't even. Her voice isn't even that good anymore. So we shall see. Anywho, okay. So let me get rid of that. We're gonna get ready to start and talk about Married at First Sight. So bam! Hey girl. Hey.
Hi.
We haven't even started yet. We just talked about the Grammys and Madonna.
Girl. The Grammys, the rap section was the best. I mean, that was the ultimate. 50 years of hip hop.
Bad Bunny for me in the beginning shut it down. I was like, oh my God, that was incredible. I liked it. But the hip hop one was also incredible.
Well, yeah,
that's look him up.
Yeah, Bad
I'm gonna look him up.
He's huge.
He's the biggest star in the world.
I've been schooled so far, Vanessa. I mean, everybody's like, Shahida, what? I didn't know who he was. I'm a TV movie person. I'm not into music. Okay. Except for yours. That's a nice good stuff, right? No.
That's a throwback too. That's old school.
But that's all I listen to. Yeah. That is all I listen to.
You better get that Vanessa Williams on your Pandora, that Vanessa Williams station on Pandora. I'm telling you, that shit is fire.
I believe it. I believe it. That's all I listen to is like 80s and 90s and 2000s. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny. Not that Barbie.
I'll give him a listen. I didn't watch the Grammy, but they schooled me on it today.
Yes.
All right, so we haven't even we just starting. So good timing, Vanessa. Who would you like to start? Who y'all want to start with first? Let's get it.
I do not. Well, I do not like Gina. I can tell you that much.
Bingo. Me too.
Yeah.
So she's in it for her salon. She's in it for the business because that's all she talks about. All she talks about is her business, her salon. She just moved into a 7,000 square foot something for her new business. And he's literally like trying to get in. He's like, oh, so I'm trying to do this. He's like, yeah, well, I did that with my business. And I was like, girl, please, just with the business. And I know you don't like him, but you could be a little, his words of how he addressed the group, obviously that was his hurt feelings and his reaction to being slighted by her. And he went kind of wrong place. He needed to read the room. He did need to read the room, and that was the wrong place for him to do it. But she keeps supposedly bringing up, he's a ginger and all that stuff. And he's like, that's offensive. She's like, I deal with them all the time. That's not offensive to me. That's like saying some black thing that like, that's not offensive. Like, you know, I call people colored all the time. You're colored, aren't you? Like that kind of thing. So, but I don't like her. I don't like her at all.
I had to say the same. I mean, the ginger part, I know you don't hear it much in the States. Do you? Like people calling people ginger and it being like, you know, very disrespectful. But like, across in Europe, it is. And the fact that she would not even try to acknowledge what he was saying or how he felt about it. And then so I agree with you. And then at first I was like, I didn't like him because I didn't think he had work ethic. And I thought that she was too good for him. Whew, eating all my words, because she is not. She is very petty and mean, and I get what he said was wrong about the whole body type, because I didn't even realize too, all them women are big.
Curvy.
Yeah, okay. All those women are curvy. They're the curvy women. So he definitely read the room completely wrong, and it got quiet when he said that. But that was from a place of hurt.
And also, I don't think he was. And when he tried to explain himself, I think he genuinely was like, I didn't really mean it that way. I meant that I've dated athletic women. Not to say you're not, but more slender women. Not that there's anything wrong, but he just didn't say it correctly.
You just don't say it.
He tries to explain it to her. He really was like genuinely. He's like, I'm sorry if I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
If he was doubling down on it, being like, well, you are, aren't you? He could have done that, but he didn't.
He could have.
I think she wanted a power couple. She wanted to have a man coming in guns a-blazing who's a businessman, so they could be a power couple. And the fact that he's not on her entrepreneurial level, she's been emasculating him. She's been showing him what she's done. And she just is not happy that he's not leveling up to what she thought she was going to get. So I think she's mentally doing that, but also like showing what she's accomplished. And this is who I am, and just disappointed that she didn't get that power couple that she thought was going to be a match for her. So there's nothing I think that can make her happy. I think even the looks, if he was a CEO of something, she'd be fine. You know what I mean? But the fact that she just can't even, she uses her accomplishments to belittle him. I think it's that whole power couple thing. Like, she's just disappointed with what she got with him. And he's also, she's slick, slick and sophisticated, and he's like a nature boy, and it's not lining up.
Tanya, you thought he had money, right?
I thought he was a trust fund baby. I still think he's a trust fund baby, even though he has a job. I think that he's a trust fund baby. Because you just listen to his story. He's like third generation of sailors. His grandfather, his father, now him, have owned sailboats. And I'm not into boats, but boats aren't cheap. So if they've been doing this for years and years, I think he comes from wealth, but he has a job. If Vanessa, if what you say is true about Gina wanting a power couple, then she's a stone cold liar. Because I remember on the matchmaking show, because of her success, Pastor Cal had asked her, would you be okay? How would you feel making more money than your husband? And what if your husband wanted to be a stay-at-home dad or what have you? She would, I'd love that. I agree. She's full of shit. She's bringing nothing to the table but her job and what she does. She's not even getting it when he's like trying to know her. He's trying to get to know her as a human being. Okay, everybody in America, Gina, knows that you're a hairstylist. You're building your 7,000 square foot brick and mortar, and you're trying to, do this and all of that. But like Chris said, that's all she talks about. I think with regard to Clint, when all the couples were together. I said it last week. Remember Chris and Shahida before Vanessa came on. I was like, it's leading me to believe that when Clint brings up the weight thing, that's going to be his pay moment. That's going to be his payback for her saying to him at the cabana, I'm not into gingers. Like, I normally wouldn't be into gingers. And she wouldn't shut up about that. And you could tell by his face that he was kind of hurt by that, but he didn't say anything. So I knew that was going to be his petty moment to talk about. I usually date like more athletic, more slender type women. And again, you like what you like. That's what you've normally dated. And I didn't take that as offensive. I mean, maybe if I was one of the wives sitting there, I probably would have been like, bro, whatever. But to their argument, she was stupid. He apologized. He was explaining to her, and she just wouldn't let it go. Instead of saying, you know what? I accept your apology. If you want your marriage to work, you went on Married at First Sight. If you want your marriage to work, then you should be able to compromise and be like, you know what? I get that. You shouldn't have said it. And he admitted it. But you know what? Let's move forward from here. She went from 0 to, you know what? I think for the remainder of the trip, we'll just be separate and do things separately.
Did she say the remainder of the trip or that day?
The remainder of the honeymoon. She's like, for the remainder of the honeymoon, I think we'll just stay apart from each other, or whatever she said. Not that, don't quote me on that. It was like stay apart from each other. And then she walked away, and you see her walking towards her little lounge chair, and he's like, okay, really? That's really adult of you. Yeah, go ahead.
I saw that. Yeah, okay.
And he deserved to give her every bit of that smoke, because I'd have said the same thing to her. Boo-boo, you a grown-ass woman. We're married. Seriously? Then you don't deserve to be married if every time we have a disagreement, you're just going to walk away.
That's like the chick in Boston, Chris, and what was the girl's name who wouldn't even engage? The one who was petty,
Alyssa.
Yeah. Oh,
thank you, Gina, because I couldn't remember her name. Lord. He was a hot one.
Yes. Well, we all know they're not making it. That was. I just liked how it flipped, because I was really hating him at the very beginning, thinking like, oh, he's just not smart.
But see, once again, they set us up with the previews. They always set us up like that. I don't like
but
that.
But it wasn't the previews that made me not like him. He just seemed like goalless, and like he didn't have any drive or anything. He just wanted to ride his boat, sail his boat, and just go around the world. Well, what's your work plan, sir? What do you do for a job? And I still don't really know what he does for a job.
We know he's never stated what he does for work. He said what he stated.
He says he has a 9 to 5. He says he has a 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
And he works with corporations doing something. I don't know about it.
Yeah, that's all ambiguous. What does that mean?
He works for his dad. He probably works in the family business.
But him being in boats, I mean, that's like, we know people, whalers from New Bedford that, been in boats for generation after generation, but they're not rich. That's just their lifestyle.
I agree. But this boating, like he's racing, like the boaters, like in New Bedford and those, they're like fishermen boating. Like they're bringing in the catch of the days. His kind of boating is like, what's that race around the world that they usually do in other countries? I forgot the name of it. The
regattas. He was saying that he was in the regattas.
US Cup or something like that they have. They race like America's Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. They race these big sailboats all around the world. This dude like goes.
He's not doing that because he definitely would have said it. Because if I was doing that, that would be, I'm leading with that. He's not leading with anything other than he just sails a boat.
But he says he participates in races as well. He didn't bring up America's Cup, but he said he does races and he goes to other countries. So I'm like, yeah, he ain't lobster trapping. Let's just put that out there.
Let's move on. Let's move on from them.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're all like this.
Every single one of them is.
They ain't making it.
Bang. All right. So who next? Let's just get Nicole and Chris out of the way. I'm going to start and say, and this is about the only thing that I can say about them, is I really like they're really communicating, man. They're like getting into it. And that's what you need to do. And I like that. Like they're asking, like on the kayak, Like that was like a really good conversation. Like
really
about the, you know, what do you like? He's admitting that he tends to be lazy, and they were talking about things like laundry and when do you how many times when do you wash your sheets? Right. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, I'm not gonna have that. I'm in Jamaica, boo. We're getting drunk, we're partying. We'll have that conversation when we move into our fancy new apartment when we get back. But I like that they're open and they're really getting down. They're doing the work.
Yeah,
I still think they're not going to make it, but
I think they will.
They talking. No, I don't want to make it.
It's like right in your face, like what?
He's like, you got a snack for me, mama?
He's had plenty of snacks.
I love Nicole and Chris. They are like one of the best couples in a while, since like New Orleans or something, when we had what's his name? Oh, you know, the New Orleans couple. Can't think of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember their name.
Amari and
oh yeah, Amani and Woody.
Yeah, Amani and Woody, where out the gate you could tell that that's what they wanted and that's what they was going to work for. And there's like an attraction that they both have. They're open-minded, and I don't think that Chris is the sucker that you all were making him out to be. I think he is. I think he is. He has learned a lot from his previous relationships. He knows what he does not want, and he knows what he does want. So I think that he can and will stand up to Nicole when she just gets a little bit, you know, out of pocket. But I also think that I don't know if she has learned as much from her previous relationships, but I think she has. I think that she realizes how broken she was before, and she doesn't want to be that same person in a relationship. She wants to have like open communication and be able to discuss and feel loved by her mate. She may be a little needy. I still feel that she is, you know, needy, but I think he'll be able to deal with it. Thumbs up for them.
I think bottom line, she's still going to get what she wants, though. Bottom line, he may put up a fight and say, I don't know if, you know, no, but she'll be like, well, we're going to do this. All right, whatever. I still think he's in that mode in terms of she's much more forceful about things than he is. And he has a little insecurity. I do love them. I do like them together. I think they are going to work. And I think they both really want it. And I think they both, you know, I think they're really into each other. But you saw the clip once again about, do you love me? And he goes, no. And I was like, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, my man. Yeah. So he's got some, but he is a little insecure about, you know, he's like, I'm afraid that she's not going to like me but he's putting it out there though.
Didn't he say he was afraid she wasn't going to like the sex? Did he say that? Or was I?
No, he said that.
Yeah, he didn't say that, right? He said he hopes that he's going to be able to satisfy her. And again, I love that they're just willing to talk about anything. Mm-hmm. I love it. Vanessa, what's your take?
I definitely think that they are a great couple together. I do get frustrated with he tends to be a little stuck, but that's kind of just how I feel his personality is. As you said, he's afraid. It's, you know, she's ready to go and move ahead and make things happen. And I can definitely see it's that New York energy. Like, let's do it. We're in it together. Love you. And he's still kind of backing off. Again, it's only been a week. So
yeah,
watching. So I hope he loosens up and doesn't, and just gives her the support that she needs. Cause again, she is needy, but she also needs that tender, you know, warm hug that he's given like slices of it, but he needs to open up to let her feel that she can trust him. But maybe that's going to happen in the next couple. But I think you know, it's there. I just hope he just got, you know, just relaxed a little bit more.
And wash the sheets.
With his dog on the sheet too.
Yeah.
Wash it that often. I was like,
well, and he said it could go quite a couple of months,
like a couple of weeks without washing his sheets and the dogs.
With the dogs, yeah.
And then, but she was like, okay, well, I'll do it. Mine once a week.
Exactly. That's what I loved.
Yeah.
Where you fail, that's where I pick up. Where I fail, that's where you pick up. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
even
we'll
though I
see.
don't think they're gonna make it, I
Damn it.
let me finish. I think they're the only couple right at this point in time that has the most potential to make it.
Well, why don't you think they're gonna make it?
I think she's gonna just be too much for him unless he proves to her that she can trust him and she gets a little bit more secure within herself. Then and then she stops with the constant hand holding, because remember when all the guys were together, Chris said it. He's like, she's really clingy and like wants to hold my hand, and he's like, and it's like really hot in Jamaica and my hands are sweaty, but she wants to always hold my hand. And I'm just like, ugh. I would have been like, don't, like, boo boo, like, let's just walk beside me. You don't need to be all over me. I think if she becomes secure, but he's going to have to prove it to her that she can be vulnerable. I mean, she is being vulnerable, but she can feel safe with him and trust him. Then I think she won't be so grab assy with him and asking him out, do you love me yet? Do you love me yet? Yeah, no, that's just, to me, that's a turn off.
Yeah.
But how about, did y'all peep Clint's rude ass when the guys were together and he was talking about Nicole? I'm saying to myself, come on, Chris, this you better tell him, bro, you're talking about my wife.
Oh yeah.
He's like, with that New York attitude, and she's an animal, like, she'll break your neck and all this. I'm just like, bro, you're talking about a man's wife.
But that's why he's an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, he's married to an asshole and he's an asshole. I don't like either one of them. Either one.
Yeah. Again, they're the most promising couple for me to make it. But at the end of the day, I don't think that they're going to make it.
You think Chris is going to be the one that'll say no and she'll say yes?
Probably at this point, yeah. I think if she continues on being so with him, like overbearing with him and always needing validation because there's nothing, I'm sorry, it's just, to me, I don't know, it's just me. It's a bad look. I'm not asking anybody. I don't care how much I'm in love with you. I'm never going to ask you, do you love me? Sorry. I just can't. And I think it's just reeks of desperation to me. If somebody loves you, they're going to tell you they love you, especially if you're dating.
Unless you're in the cast of Fiddler on the Roof and you've been married for 40 years and Jeffy's like, do you love me? Do I what? Yeah, do you love me?
Do you love me?
Right.
Do I love you for 29 years?
25 years I'm your clothes.
25 years.
But I like his honesty because, she's asking him and he's like, no. So I like the fact that he's being honest with her and saying no. So that if he does love her and the day that she asks him, he's like, yes, I love you, then you're going to know he means it. Or either that he's just saying yes to shut her up. Yeah, I like their communication, how they communicate. But we'll see. Time will tell. Shall we go to
Arris?
Oh, you want to go to? Let's start with Dominique and lion ass Matt Kinley.
Ugh.
There's a reason why. See, shit comes out, and you say to yourself, "Bing." There's a reason why Mac ain't got no girl and lives in the basement of his best friend's parents' house.
Right.
He obviously doesn't know how to tell the truth, and yeah, he's just as they matched him up with a 25-year-old. Perfect. Because he acts like a 25-year-old. I'm done. Go ahead. Next. I'm
just wondering if is he nervous or something? Because he's always cracking. I mean, because that's not. And he's like, oh, I can ride a horse, this and the other. After a while, he'd be like, no, I've never. I mean, you would be like, you wouldn't hold it out until you actually get on the horse and like, no, I've never ridden a horse. I mean, the joke does not work when you actually someone is believing you and you actually get there and.
Okay, this is just a tiny off topic. The horse thing, right? I love horses. I love riding horses.
Same here.
I do not want to ride a horse in water because I think of this horse is going to shit in the water.
And the horse shat it in the water.
It was like, that's like the thing anywhere else, but I'm not bringing a horse into the water. And I'm like, why did they do it?
I've done it.
Good.
I've done it before. I rode in St. Lucia in the water, but the hardest thing was riding bareback, which riding bareback with nothing, with your bikini on, and mine is very uncomfortable. But you get into the water, you're a little more buoyant. But, yeah, it was just the two of us, and it was fun because it's you're kind of floating, and it's cool. But yeah, I think
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, but the insecurity, back to Mac, it's like he's so insecure, and it's all coming out in bad humor because he can't figure out who he is. He's got a lot of growing up to do, and no wonder his mother is like, "You're a child. Why are you doing this?" As Chris said before, he's like, obviously he's been the troubled child who's always doing something crazy. And that's why her attitude was so stank at the beginning. It wasn't
exactly,
judging poor Dominique. He was like, my son's a fool. Why are you doing this? I don't,
It has nothing to do with you, dear. He's just the fuck up. And that's how I felt for her, for the mother, because we're seeing more of that, and it's like so blatantly obvious. I mean, he and her being matched with him, because she's really childish. I really want to fight Pastor Cal for saying that she's an old soul. Where there's no maturity there at all. The only mature thing about her is that she can see through him and knows that he's not what he is supposed to be. So that's the only thing. They're such a horrible match. And I like her because she's a young girl. I don't have anything like, she just has growing up to do. Her mother, I question, but him, not at all. I don't like him. There's something so, I don't know. I feel like there's something more sinister is going to come out about him. I don't like him. And I never did from the beginning.
But I'm surprised that they haven't had sex.
Because she's not that into him.
Yeah.
She's not attracted to him.
She's not attracted to him.
And I'm going to tell you right now, they're not together. Fact. And I don't think they're going to even make it to decision day, because she was on the after party. And I was watching all their faces. Rudy Huxtable had her, Clint, and Arris on there. Mm-hmm. And when it came time to talk about Dom and McKinley, when they showed the clips, Dom's face was just like this. Like, she just had utter disdain on her face when they were showing the clips. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't trying to hide it. She ain't with that man.
Well, we saw her in the preview walking off with her crying with the boxes. So I'm quite sure something like really went down. But I think a lot of
No, but I was like, but again, I don't read into those, I mean, it looks good. The previews, they make it get you all hyped up. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to read into that as,
I'm reading into that one. I think he does some foul shit.
Yeah. So how sinister do you think he is? Like, what do you think he's capable of doing, or what has he done in his past? I mean, when you say sinister, it's like,
that's a strong word. Right. And when I say sinister for him, I think he's a pathological liar. Okay. So, I don't know what he could, and I feel like if he's hurt or something in some way, he gives off that like little penis energy where he will really try and hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. And that her being younger than him, I think he feels like he could probably manipulate situations a little bit more. That's why he got busted in those little lies, because he didn't think that she was as equipped to hang on. And that's probably why he doesn't have a girlfriend. There's a reason why he was living with a woman who got engaged to another guy, put her ring on social media and said, "Oh, that's my ring. I'm getting married." And she was living in. How do you not know this? There's something crazy about him. He's not there. Something's crazy about him.
Yeah, I'll be interested. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them. Chris, your take? Anything?
No, I'm just saying he's not funny. he thinks he's funny, but seems like he is joking all the time. And she's kind of like, okay, enough with the jokes. Like be real. Like she is attracted to him physically, she says. But if he would just shut the fuck up. She said that.
I know, but wasn't it like a 4 or something?
No, but I'm saying if he would just shut the fuck up, I think, and from the beginning, I think it would have gone a lot better for him.
But she also said at the very beginning that he was not her usual type, but she was going to give it a chance. And then, so not your usual type. And then, 7 days later, giving him a 4 for attraction. She's not attracted to him. She does not want that little penis in her.
Oh, Lord.
Doesn't.
Jesus, where's my church fan? Shady, you got me off guard. My church fans like Jesus. That's a good one, child.
She doesn't. She.
Oh,
I don't know if he has a little penis. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Well, let's go to Vanessa's favorite couple,
Arris.
Arris and Jazz.
I feel sorry for her. She's trying so hard. It's like, stop it. Just, again, he's so arrogant and so distant and cut off and lives in his head.
He doesn't like her ass too.
Yeah, he wants more. I don't like him at all. Yeah. And I think she's wasting her time. Why? She's not begging, but like she's just putting herself out there, and I don't like them.
And she's attractive, but he does not make her feel attractive at all.
I don't think he thinks she's attractive. I think every day that he wakes up to that smile, he is not feeling it.
And that no ass at all, because the man again, he clearly has a type because he made it very clear to the fellas who the type of woman that he likes and what came out of his mouth. Megan Thee Stallion,
Serena Williams.
Oh, Serena Williams. He thinks
somebody competing with Serena's butt. No,
it was an ass thing with Serena Williams. He says Serena Williams has a perfect ass,
and he said it was Megan too.
Megan Thee Stallion, and so I'm like, okay, so you like a really thick, big ass kind of girl.
But I think he would. I think I get it, but I think he would be a little bit more lenient to her if that mouth was not. It's like. At this point, it's like it's like every week when I see it, it seems like it gets bigger. Like everything is like really in your face. I'm like, I feel bad saying it, but God, I think that's it. I think it's the teeth.
Could be
why he's not attracted to her.
It's the overall appearance for him. She's just not his type.
Cheerleader. She got something going on.
It's not what he wants. I think he doesn't think that she's not attractive. He made that clear, and he's like, I mean, she's a beauty queen. Like she's won pageants. She's not ugly. He's just. Let me just put it this way. She doesn't. He might look at her and be like, she's really pretty. She's a pageant queen, whatever, what have you. She just doesn't make his penis twitch. Period. Jump, pop, pop.
And he's probably scared for his penis because of it.
Oh, yeah. You need to go wash your mouth. You was on one today.
All right, I'm done. But
you
now I'm thinking about it. Like
you right though.
I
wouldn't. If I was a dude, I wouldn't want them teeth. No, Jasmine. No, Jasmine. Fix that grill. She got to fix that.
But seriously, too, with him, I don't think he's that intelligent. What does he do for a living? Because
he's an engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe he's just socially inept because he doesn't seem to have any type of intelligent conversation for this woman. And maybe because it is that, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like he has any intelligent conversation. It's always back to one thing. I haven't seen them have like any kind of deep connection with anything. And I've seen her try, but then he swirls it right back to like some kind of like sexual talk like you do when you're like 15, 16 years old. And he's like, I just want to hit it and go about my business.
I don't want her to have sex with him because I think he's giving me Chris Williams vibes, not our Chris, but he's giving me Chris Williams vibes where he'll fuck her and he'll bang her out like every day if she gives him the whore vibes. Remember he said last week, we need to give it whore. If she was putting it out there like that, he'd hit it. But I don't want her to have sex with him because I don't think at the end of the day, he talked all this sex talk last week. What's your favorite? Don't ask me about my favorite sex. First of all, that's tacky, number one. Don't talk about favorite sexual positions, and we need to give it whore. And then this week, well, the next day, you're going to say, well, I just want to pump the brakes. What happens in 24 hours that you go from this? Now, had she been stupid and played into that, he would have probably had sex with her that night. And then it would have been, you're my friend. Let's just pump the brakes. Imagine how devastated she would have felt if she would have let him hit it. And then he tells her the next day, he's standoffish and says,
like Chris Williams did.
That's what I'm saying. He's giving me Chris Williams vibes.
What is the Chris Williams backstory quickly? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Chris Williams was in the Atlanta season.
Oh, I thought you were talking about "Don't Wake Me, I'm Dreaming." Chris Williams, a singer. I'm like,
No.
you. Oh my God.
There's too many damn Chris Williams.
There's only one.
Don't wake me, I'm dreaming.
That's what I'm listening to. I'm not listening to this other guy, Bad Bunny. That's what I'm listening to.
He had sex with the girl. He wasn't attracted to her at all. Had sex with her multiple times, and then was like, she's like a dog. He called her all kinds of names to her face, and
he was like, when I was in Atlanta, I had Caucasian women, Asian women, Puerto Rican women, and then y'all give me this. That's exactly what he said. He said, y'all give me this.
Out of all the women in Atlanta that you could pick, you gave me this, but you didn't have a problem hitting it multiple times. So I'm going to need for Jasmine not to fall for that okey doke. Arris is screaming fuckboy. He's giving me.
But when they were doing the massages and then they had that little off camera for her, she was saying, well, what happened? Why is he not attracted to me now? Doesn't want. So I feel like she's starting to feel like rejected somewhat from him, and I think he probably maybe the night before that she maybe leaned in a little too hard, and he was just like, I'm not attracted, so I need to pump the brakes and say like, oh, we need to get to know each other a little bit more. I think that might have happened in the 24 hours for him to change up. Like, it was cool talking about it, thinking that maybe that she wouldn't like put out or anything, but I think she might have put out some vibes that she was ready, and he was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds about right. Because
I don't like to see her suffer. I don't.
No.
And I don't think he has the nutsack to say it. I think it's going to come out when they have their first visit or something with one of the experts. And they're going to, obviously, did you consummate the marriage? They like asking that. I think that's when it's going to come out. But I hope she doesn't sleep with him before then.
So quick question to you guys. I can't remember what the experts say why they match them to, because I'm not getting any type of, like, I'm trying to figure out why were they matched. I don't see the connection on either on paper or just watching them deal with each other.
I can't remember as to why they were matched.
But they just seem like they don't match at all.
Yeah.
Like I get everybody else, and like, okay, even like the whole thing, like she said, him saying he never been in love. Why would you match a man that has never been in a committed relationship with a woman enough to be like, I love you, with a woman who clearly has been in love, but also is very open about that. So why would, and wanted to be married? Him just saying I want to be married is not reason enough to set him up with someone.
But he did. I think the reason why is if he was that type of way, he did go on the show. So
Right.
he has the seemingly intention that he does want to be married, this and the other, even though he's probably full of shit. But they probably like, oh, well, then why are you applying for the show if you really don't want to be married? And he's like, well, I do want to be married. So I think they probably took it for what he said, but he don't really want to be fucking married.
But if he said, I've never been in love, if you've never been in love, you can't just jump to the next step of marriage. You've had to have some relationships, some heartbreaks, something to teach you how to deal with another person. He's never had any of those experiences.
Just because you haven't been in love doesn't mean that you haven't had relationships and stuff.
No, he said he's had relationships, but if they've never amounted to like actual love of another woman, and then that caring that goes with it. I know he tried to explain where, he's like, I do care about people, but I just never love. I just feel like, how do you say you go into a marriage and never have loved a woman before? That just seems odd to me. Just like it seems odd to her.
How do you love a black woman? How do you love? You remember that song? Is that off Broadway? Or bro, how do you love a black woman?
I thought it was.
It was a radio spot.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I thought I heard it someplace like on TV or something.
Let me find this. Hold on.
Well, of course you're gonna find it.
But anyway, but that's my take on them. I don't think he's intelligent.
Right. He doesn't have the depth. He doesn't have the depth.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Also, I mean, I know there's a lot of, only children out there that've got, but it's that only child, like, if you don't want to deal with somebody, you don't have to, because you're by yourself, if you want to be. So I think that's easy to just kind of be in your own world. You come to me, and I just don't think he's got depth at all. And she's trying. I hope she finds somebody after this whole thing, because she's eager. She goes and gets her Invisalign on her bottom teeth, and then restart.
Because it's never too late. It's 2023.
That's right.
Oh yes. Again, thumbs down. Yeah, no. So Kirsten and Shaquille.
He's calling her out a little bit.
Yeah.
He called her out. I was like, okay, Shaquille, I see you. He's like, you giving me mixed signals. He's seeing her game, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, so you want me to do this? I'll do this. And you don't like that. You want me to do this? You don't like that. I like the fact that he was steadfast and like, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. If you don't like it, just say you don't like it. But don't say, oh, I wish you were more like this. He's like, so I'm glad that he actually stood up for himself and called her on her fuckery.
Yeah.
He jokes around too much, she says.
Right.
He said he has a sense of humor. I mean.
And his sense of humor is like a mature sense of humor. It's not like a McKinley sense of humor. You know what I mean? He is a whole ass grown ass man. And I think Kirsten is full of shit. Because after I watched the after party last week and Shaq admitted that she's one way on camera, like when they're on camera, she's all, lovey-dovey, touchy-feely. And then off camera, she's like, don't come around me. Don't touch me, whatever. So I think Kirsten's full of shit and she's just going to go through the motions to get to 8 weeks to say no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, when they were sitting down and they were having that conversation and she was saying that he was joking too much. And then she also said that she felt like he was always lecturing her. I feel her on that one, because if you date a person who's an educator, it does feel like that. Mm-hmm. It does feel like that sometimes. But you were getting the best of both of him, I think, because he is intelligent. He can have like really good conversations, and he's shown that. But then he's very lighthearted. I mean, like, how could you not like that? Like, you don't want somebody who's stuffy all the time. I feel like she's almost intimidated by him. I know that she says that was the person that she wanted and she's all about education, but I feel like she might be a little bit intimidated by him.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that because, some people are all like, I want the, when people that have these checklists, like of what they're looking for, I get it. I just want somebody that might be a little bit taller than me because I like to wear high heels. And I mean, I'd date a short man, but he's got to be comfortable for me wearing high heels because I'm not wearing flats, period, end of story. But I agree with you, Shahida. I think she might be a little intimidated. He's everything that she had on her checklist of what she wanted. And obviously this is the first time that she's with somebody that has basically checked off everything with the exception of the bald head. And I guess he's not as tall as she wants, whatever. but I think she might be a little intimidated by him because he's got that great job at Tennessee State, and he's getting, what is he working on? His doctorate, I think it's his PhD or his doctorate. I can't remember, but yeah.
What does she do?
She is in real estate.
Is she?
Yep. She's a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what she went to college for. She has 2 degrees. I think she has a master's, a bachelor's and a master's. What she has them in, I don't know, but she's a real estate agent.
Maybe it's probably business, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm just she's coming off as very immature, and I like her. I wanted to like her because I thought that on paper they were such a good couple. Like they should be able to fit together, but she's throwing out every little excuse not to really get deep with him.
Yeah. That will fail because of her, not him. Or if it fails because of him, it will be because he's going to be like, you know what, I can't do this. You know what, you're giving me mixed signals, and I can't deal with this anymore.
And I like the fact that he's not enamored with her so much anymore. Because before he was like, I'm all in. Now he sees her fuckery. He's like, I like that.
Yeah, thank God he's not Justin, because I just thought he was gonna pull a Justin on the honeymoon and tell her like day one, I'm in love with you, and I was like, come on, Shaq, you're an educator, for God's sakes.
But you know what? Because I was nervous, and I hope that going forward too, that he is able to retain this level of like class that he has. Because you have a good job, sir. Don't risk it being all ratchet on this show. You want to be able to keep going, because he does come off as a very classy person. And I love that for him. So hopefully, not too much craziness goes on with them as a couple. But I don't even think that she would be like ratchet either. I don't think that I think her long game would be like, I want to make sure people have a good representation of me.
So do you think they're going to make it at all, or what?
Oh, no. Hell no.
Not
at all. Not at all. And I think it would be exactly for like what Tanya said. It would either be because of her, or he just said, you know what? You're not on my level and I got to go.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No.
And she's not on his level.
Agreed.
Well, that's all of our couples. Chris, what you got?
I know.
What's going on?
Because they always talk to Vanessa. That's why it went by so fast.
I was trying to find out, how do you love a black woman?
Oh my God.
How do you love a black woman?
We're really showing our age right now. Really.
I was totally,
how many more episodes do we have? It's usually
30, 35, right? 35, 40.
Yeah, we've got.
But
I'm like 100.
I do like the fact they have been lowering it to an hour and a half.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Lifetime.
That's 3-hour bullshit.
Lifetime listen, it's more bearable for me now, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Last season, I was like, I just can't carve 2.5 hours out of my day. I mean, I could, but I'm like, I just too much.
I want to.
I'm fast forwarding through stuff, and I'm like, but then I got to talk about it, so now I got to watch it. I love this whole 90-minute, where in the whole 90 minutes it includes the after party. Bing, bang, boom. Thank you. Love it. All right, Chris Williams, what you got? What's coming up? Talk to the people. Nothing.
You're on the Upshaws.
Well, I shot the Upshaws this week, but well, we got until next. Well, actually, it is the 16th that comes on. I was going to save it till the 16th, but
all right.
Upshaws starts airing
every week.
Part 3. Upshaws starts airing part 3 on Netflix. I'm in 2 episodes out of the 6, I think, and I just shot another episode of it yesterday.
Because Kim Fields was on Sherry today talking about the Upshaws and stuff, and she's also been on The View. So the Upshaws.
She talked to you. She said I saw your sister.
Oh, when I did the Christmas special for Amber Ruffin, her Christmas special.
And
Oh, I
she
saw that.
directed
Yeah,
this. She directed this the first episode too. She's a really good director. She's a really good because handling Mike Epps and Phase on Love was a guest star too, but handling Mike Epps and how because he's a very loose, he's not an actor. He's more of a stand up, but loose and the way that he respects her enough and she can stop doing that. She's really, really good. She's really good and a really good actor's director as well. So
what a waste of a season for her to jump on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was such a
I was a little disappointed when she got on that.
I was shocked.
I'm like, not Kim Fields.
What was that?
That was a while ago.
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, she did the whole season, and it was so trifling for her.
It was beneath her. I'll say that it was beneath her. She don't need that.
And Kenya Moore was coming for her hard, like you are nothing. I was like, girl, people will fight you with Tootie's roller skates. Don't ever see that.
Does she know who Tootie's mother is?
I'm screaming.
Will come with her Good Times iron and burn that bitch alive. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Shit. It was a hot mess.
Yeah.
It was a hot mess.
All right. While we got you, Vanessa, what you got coming up? I got a couple of questions I want to ask you before we let you go. But what you got coming up? Anything good?
No, I'm just doing some one-offs, some some galas and concerts here and there, but nothing. Yeah.
So we talked about the Grammys before you came on, and I told them I'm a conspiracy theorist because I think Stevie Wonder can sing, can see. That's all. I think he can see because he was working that stage. He was getting old Stevie used to always have that man beside him, and every time he tried to get up, that man was
Greg Fillinganes was sitting right on the piano, right behind him.
I saw that, but I'm still looking at it.
And
I'm like,
probably where to stand, where to go.
Yeah. I think Stevie pulled the wool over all our eyes all these damn years since he was 12. Question number 2. Well, that wasn't a question. That was just my opinion. What'd you think about Smokey Robinson?
Well, Smokey I've known for years. Smokey thinks that we are related. He swears we're related. So when he does his ancestry DNA, then we can make it official. So
I can actually see that now that you say it.
Yeah, he's my mother's age. He looks great. He's got great mobility, and the names of his upcoming album called Gasms with all kinds of.
I heard about
album's called Gasms, and it's like.
And wait a minute, Chris, you got to go pull it up and look at the names, the titles of each song. Smokey is 80 years old, and I'm like, I got to step my game up because
is he 80?
Robinson is out there in the streets. Is he 80 or like 83?
83?
Yeah, he's 83.
83. He can still walk. I don't know if I'm going to be breathing at 83, but he can still walk and sing. He still got it.
Gasms.
Yes, look at find a list of names of songs.
Oh, find the list of the names
of
songs.
Here we go. How you make me feel? Here you go. Come on. Gasms. How you make me feel? I want to know your body. I keep calling you. Roll around beside you. If we don't have each other, you fill me up, and I fit in there.
The internet was ablaze this week.
I fit in there. No. Where is it, sir? That's what I want. We need to get him on our show.
He looks like a woman.
He's 82.
Yeah, he does look like a woman in that
82 years old.
I want to know what kind of
his wife's face was like that, so she might have gone to
in the morning. And there's love laying there. Take up where we left off. Feel like staying there. I can't imagine ever.
He's been
hanging with
Ron Isley. Him and
Yes.
Ron Isley need to do a duet. Them two old pimps. I ain't mad. I'll watch that video.
That's the lane
Big
that he's
pimpin',
trying
little
to get.
pimpin'.
I get it. He still can move. He's moving his hips on stage. Yeah.
Oh, my godmother absolutely loves Smokey, and she flatlined when he came last year. He was at Foxwoods, and she wouldn't shut up. She got home and I talked to her and I'm like, how was your Smokey Robinson? Oh, he's so good. Girl, he was on the stage and he was thrusting. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't need to hear that grandpa was on stage, popping and locking it with his pee-pee. No, I don't see that.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Well, when he goes on tour again, when he does another show at Foxwoods, I'm gonna go and see him again. I'm like, I bet you will, you and all your little friends. Okay.
Is he touring at 82?
Yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mom's there for it. She's 83 and she loves some Smokey. Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for his crowd too. They out there living it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
His
are.
first album in 9 years.
Huh? What'd you say?
His first album in 9 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he still can.
In 9 years? I really feel like I haven't heard anything from him since like the 80s.
Yeah, Smokey and Friends, released in 2014, was the most recent studio album. He worked with Elton John, James Taylor, John Legend.
Okay.
I remember that. I remember that now. I remember that.
If we don't have each other, that's his first. That was his first song. For Gasms.
The Gasms. I might have to download that. Stream it. Good old Smokey.
Speaking of tight faces, did you talk about Madonna?
Ooh,
You did.
Well, yeah, we did.
That's just tragic. That's tragic. Like I said, she's an icon. Like she's been in this business forever. Like I'm sure she's like, I'm Madonna. I'm putting Cher and Dolly Parton in speed dial because they both have had extensive work, but they look good. I want your.
Well, they just stopped. That's.
Oof. She blamed it on the lighting. She said it was the lighting that made her look that bad.
So what is that like a complete bone sculpture?
It's her second facelift because she had the first one when she was about 50, and then she just had another one recently, and then she's all filled. Whether she's filled with fat or
they've probably inserted
something in her cheeks.
They probably inserted like something to puff up her cheeks.
Yeah.
They probably went in where those lines. That's the new thing. I forgot the name off the top of my head. I'm sorry, as the healthcare person, but there's a new procedure. I shouldn't say new. It's fairly new, where they go in in your mouth and they cut out a section inside your They like cut out some fat so that you kind of have that.
She looks like Lil' Kim.
But that's
She does. I was getting ready to say she looked like a black woman trying to look like a white woman. Like skin bleaching, oh yeah. So Vanessa, one of the things I said before you came on about Madonna is like, I feel bad because as we get older, I feel like I too some days want to do something. I mean, I buy more shit from the store, but just like facial creams and serums or whatever all the time. But how must it be for a woman's ego, especially when she's in the spotlight, because you're in the spotlight too, and feeling that she has to compete or look 30, 40 years younger than what she is. So I feel bad. But then you have women like yourself. You have women like, who's the one I love the most? I don't want to say other Black women because I feel like that's not a fair contest. But
Lynn Whitfield, she looks fabulous.
No, not a Black woman, because I feel like that's unfair competition. Because most Black women are going to look good. I'm talking about, I want to say like
Andy McDowell.
Done, huh?
Andy McDowell. Have you seen her lately? She's great. She's also a supermodel for me.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. You're in competition with your younger self. You're obviously fearing ageism. You're saying, am I going to be relevant? So I get that treadmill, that wheel of, I got to stay relevant. I got to look like myself. I can't age and want to stay in the zone, which is, it's tough. And that's why you make hard decisions. she's got all the money in the world. I'm sure she went to an amazing plastic surgeon or whatever, but it still doesn't look like herself. And when you want more and more and you're obsessed with, it doesn't give me more, you know, she can go to bounce from one person to another. They don't know what she just had done. So you can continue to do that. And then that's, you know, and maybe she just had something and hasn't settled in. So she needs another year for everything to relax. But, you know, it's
like, look at Jamie Lee Curtis and how good she looks. Meryl
she's
Streep looks really good. And I know she said she did have a facelift like years and years ago, and she said she would never do it again.
The Streep did, or
Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh. I don't know if I think it was either a full facelift. No, not a full facelift. It must have been Botox.
Okay. Well,
that she said she did, but she said she would never do it again. But look how she's aging gracefully. And I just feel bad for Madonna and other women in that field because I know it's hard for me. So I know it must be 100 times harder for somebody who's like in the public eye. But then you see women who are aging well and they look good and you just have to accept it.
Accept it, but also not. There's so many other things you can do besides cutting that you know. There's skin tightening and yes, see all that. That's all fat or filler. Because when you have nothing sunken in here and it goes like here from the bottom of your eye into like a complete round, that's all filled with stuff. You know what I mean? So your eye gets smaller and your whole face is just puffy. You know,
and how old is she? She's what?
Looks good.
Who?
She's 5 years older than me, so she's gonna be 65. Yeah.
She's 60.
Yeah, she's 64 now. Yeah.
Jane Fonda looks good. I mean, she wears like weird wigs and stuff, but when you look at her face,
she's had quite a bit of surgery too.
She's had a lot of work done,
and gone to good people.
Mm-hmm. But she had a lot, and it was she was like at the tip where she was not looking so great. But I saw a preview of another movie with her and Lily Tomlin coming out, and she looks really good.
80 for Brady.
Yeah. No, this is something else. It's just her and Lily Tomlin in this one, and they're gonna kill each other's husbands or something. I don't know.
Not the series that she did.
Nope, it's not that, but it seems a lot like that.
But she looks. I mean, she looks good. I mean,
but she's settled though.
Work.
That was all. But when she was probably having it done, she probably looked ghostly and really pulled. But after it settles and you age and stuff, it's risky. It's just a risky thing, and there's a lot of people that's had work and you can't tell, and then there's people that have had bad advice.
Much. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
because I think you do it one time, you're like, oh god damn, look at that, looks good, and then they just don't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not noticing a lot of young people. Like I was really surprised to see Lindsay Lohan's face. Yeah, she's young. Mm-hmm. To have that much work done and almost look completely she almost like Kim.
What did you think of Beyonce showing up late? Did you think that was planned?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. She showed up after she got her award. She didn't see it.
I think that
was rude. I thought that was rude.
I think it was planned because it's Beyonce, and it's the Grammys. Like Beyonce doesn't get stuck in traffic. I mean, I'm pretty sure that what's that place? The state. I'm just calling it the Staples Center. I'm pretty sure the Staples Center has a helipad on top of the building, and maybe if she got stuck in traffic, which I doubt. I'm thinking they could have just helicoptered her in. She probably just wasn't going to come out there and be there for the beginning of the show, and she would just make her way.
But she knew she was up for the first award.
Jay-Z was on time. Don't they live together?
Wait, what? He was there?
Yes.
She was dealing with her kids.
She don't deal with her kids. She's got a nanny. Please. She's got a whole staff.
She hands-on. She deal with her kids.
No.
I'm gonna stand for Beyonce. Don't play.
I know you love her, but Beyonce, listen, I'm sure she's raising her children, but she's raising her children with a whole lot of help. Let's just say that, please. Come on.
I love her, but I'm not seeing her this year. I'm not in that game yet. I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
My money. I'm sorry. That's just absolutely ludicrous. And that's
how much are tickets?
$800 is the lowest ticket. Starts.
Do you want to sit close to the stage? You're paying. I looked here at Foxborough at Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play, where she's coming, and I pulled up the map, and the nosebleed sections are starting like at $600-700. And behind the stage where you don't see nothing but the speakers and all you're doing is hearing her, those tickets are going for like $7 something. And if you want to sit like on the middle of the field where you can kind of see everything, those tickets are anywhere starting from $1,200 a ticket, $1,200 up to $3,500.
Wow. And you can't buy the ticket unless you are part of the fan club now.
Yep. You got to be a verified fan.
You have to register as a Beyonce fan for Ticketmaster, and then they'll allow you to buy tickets. So, because I went on there just to see how much tickets were, and I was trying to get in there, and they had 3 different phases for LA, this and the other, like 3 different areas. And they said, too late. You're too late to register to be a fan. So, and I was like,
and they've done that before, but I can't remember because some tickets I was trying to get to, and I know Taylor Swift, you have to be a fan to get her tickets the same way. It's ridiculous how they're doing too much. But I mean, get your money if you can, and people are going to pay it. But I don't want to hear anybody talking about the price of eggs.
Thank you. Don't tell me.
I don't want to hear shit about eggs.
I don't want to hear about your mortgage. I don't want to hear about your rent. I don't want to hear about your kids' daycare. I don't want to hear nothing. If you pay that money and go see Beyonce, I don't want to see you on Facebook. And I'm saying this because I know I'm related to some folks that are literally, their heads are exploding and they are trying to move heaven and earth to get to see Beyonce. And I'm like, all I'm saying is I don't want to see your ass on Facebook after July talking about, I can't pay my heating bill. I can't pay my AC, my electricity bill. I'm going to be sitting there like, whatever. Keep that moving. A couple of people, did you see, started a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
So people can donate so they can get tickets. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And she'll televise it eventually. I'm sure it'll be on Netflix in a year or so.
I'm good watching Coachella. I'm good with that one.
Yep. I'm good with watching her old shit on Netflix, or pulling up YouTube and watching her old videos from back in the day when she's still with Destiny's Child. I'll watch those. If you guys have nothing to do this weekend and you want a good binge, I don't know if you guys have watched it yet, but have you guys seen Truth Be Told on Apple?
Yeah. I saw that. I thought I saw only 1 season, but I did see 2 seasons. I didn't see the third one.
Spencer, Gabrielle Union.
Well, it's different. Well, it's kind of the same storyline, but it's different plot each season. So the latest season 3 that's out now, Gabrielle Union's in it. But the first season and the second season, it's Octavia Spencer is the main character. She's a podcaster and she does like true crime and stuff like that. It's really, I must say, I fell upon it like 2 weeks ago. I was just like searching because I watched Servant on Apple TV, and it kept popping up. And I was like, I kind of like Octavia Spencer, and Michael Beach is in it. And I'm like, I like Michael Beach. I'm like, let me watch this. Let me watch 1 episode. Oh, please. I sat on the couch all day. I binged all season 1, all season 2. And now I'm on season 3. And Mekhi Phifer's in it too. They got a really good cast in it. And I can never remember that name. Chris, you told me his name. Cephas Jones, the one from This Is Us.
Ron Cephas.
Cephas Jones. I like him as an actor. He's in that too.
And I do need something good to watch. I'm gonna
cue it up if you. Well,
Shaheen, watching The Last of Us. The Last of Us is pretty good.
Oh yeah, you've been watching it?
I'm
surprised. Yeah, I love it.
Is that, did you play the game? Pedro Pascal?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that because I like him. He was great.
Why
in,
don't you be surprised I'm watching? I like good shows.
Because nobody was talking about it. And I know I like all that kind of stupid stuff, but sometimes I'm surprised when you did. Did you play the game though?
I have the game.
You played? Oh, okay.
Ooh. Well, all right, everybody, we're gonna end it here. Thank y'all for joining us. Vanessa, thank you as always. We love you on us.
We'll see what happens next week.
We'll see what happens next week.
So
y'all.
next week they move into their apartments, right? So that.
And you see, so McKinley was like, he's like, oh, is this what you thought I'd be living in? She's like, oh.
Well, like this broke motherfucker. No,
how can you give a tour of a bedroom at your friend's parents' house?
That's where you live.
Peace out. Mm-hmm.